to my favorite podcast.
What that is?
SCTT TV.
So consciousness.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the SCTT Podcast. I'm your host, D-Michele, and here's my co-host, Akosua.
Hey everybody, we're happy to be here with you today. As you can see, we got a full house.
Yes.
And we will be talking about the experience of someone very important sitting right next to me, going from the screen to the stage, and that experience. And we'll also talk to our MC, Fat Gede, who will be hosting Judgment Night, the whole night, and the Whiteout play, and her process for learning about the character, and even auditions, any auditions that she's ever done, what that process is going to be. But I think that we have a really interesting show ahead of you because we have a superstar sitting next to us as well. Miss Danette has done films here in Cincinnati from local filmmakers, Lee Zellers, to international filmmaker.
Dockery.
Yes, from Ghana. And he has done two, this will be the second one that I know of a film that he produced here in Cincinnati. So Mr. Danette has been in two of his movies. It'll be the third one that they're filming right now. It's right now in process. But I want to also know, could you tell us a little bit about yourself, Danette, where, just a little information, background about who you are and why you even got into film in the first place?
Well, I am originally from Cincinnati, but I moved away when I was younger, moved to Los Angeles, lived there for about 6 years, and me and my mom, and then eventually we came back to Cincinnati, and I went to middle school, high school here, and eventually had a child, and eventually got married, and not in the right order, but yeah, it happened. And then I moved to Virginia Beach, and I lived there for 16 years. Wow. And so eventually I came back to Cincinnati after living there for 16 years. So when I came back, I was just, I was a little lost and just needed to find Danette again. After being married for so long, I needed to find myself. And so once I did, I said, okay, what am I going to do with me? And, how I ended up getting into film was because of Lee. I didn't know I had an interest, but I think in the back of my head it was always there. But he just posted that he needed someone to fill in a part for somebody who couldn't make it in a film he was working on. And all I did, I saw it and I said, oh, well, that's interesting. That's all I said. I was minding my business. I just said, that's interesting. So he DM'd me. And mind you, he did not know me. Yes. He had never met me. But he DM'd me and he said, Danette, can you do this part for me? I was like, what part? And he was like, this part, I need somebody. I was like, I'm not an actress. I'm sorry, I can't do that. And he was like, you can do it. Trust me, you can do it. He said, I believe in you. You can do it. I'm like, but dude, you don't know me. And so he was like, but you can do this. And I was like, okay, I'll try. And mind you, this was on a Thursday. So he said, I'm going to email you the script. I said, okay. So he did that day. And I looked at it, and it was like 3 pages I had, lines. And I said, oh, dear. So I said, okay. I said, I've already said yes, so I got to do that. I said, so when are we filming? And he said, Sunday. Oh. I was like, oh, okay. So
I had to throw you right on it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what he did. So come Sunday, I knew my lines. And I just kind of went in there and I just rocked it. I didn't know what I was doing. I really did not, but I said, I think this is what I'm supposed to say and how I'm supposed to say it. And I just did it. Mm-hmm. And so these two ladies were there on set when I was there. And so that was just my starting point of acting. So
yes. And even then I told her she was a natural and she looked at me like, eh?
Yeah. I'm still questioning today. Is she a scientist or a doctor? Like,
right.
Are you?
I
believed it.
Yeah.
Because I believed it.
Yeah, I did. I played a doctor. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it wasn't even hard. It was like I just did it. Mm-hmm. So anyway, I just realized, and they helped me to realize that there was something here. That I could do this. Yes. And they encouraged me, Donna and Akosua encouraged me to kind of step out and do this. Mm-hmm. And so I said, okay, I'm gonna do it. And I did.
And she's still doing it.
And she ain't gonna stop.
Well, no, no time soon. So anyway, that's my start in movies. And so personally, my personal life, I just like to solo travel. I like to see the world. And so that's what I do too on the side.
Yes, I'm surprised she's here now. She's always gone. She is literally a world traveler. If you're friends with her, you already know every time you go on Facebook, I'm in Spain. I'm in France. I'm in Italy.
And since you're already in the international film world, would you be interested in filming abroad? Like, is that something that you are looking into doing or something you might want to consider in the future?
Absolutely. I'm not opposed to it. Not at all.
She travels, y'all hear it. It's right here. And very talented
actress.
So yes. I'm gonna make sure that I put up a few of the allowed reels that she sent so that you can see what this lady is made of. Mm-hmm. Such a huge, vast array of characters that she has played in a small amount of time of acting. It's very impressive. It's like she finds something that is so different from what she played and she's like, yep, I'm gonna do that role. That's the kind of actress when I'm looking for film and I'm looking for stage actors, that's the kind of actress I'm looking for. So she's international and she got a passport, y'all. So just send the money for the flight and she is ready to stamp the passport.
No. And send her a contract where she gets paid for.
That's right. First class flights only. Okay, yes. First class only. All right.
You guys, y'all hyping me up. You're making me feel like, woo, I got to do some things.
It is what it is.
Superstars are made in Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Cincinnati is a great town.
Yeah. Even if she did live in California.
She was talking back to me. And you know what happens when you disrespect me in my house.
Yes, I do. That's why I removed myself from this abusive relationship years ago.
From stage acting into film acting, how do you feel about that process? What do you think about that process? Interviews and sending in reels and tapes and things like that.
I don't know how I feel about it because I've never done it. You know how I am about actually being on film, but when you're playing a character, that's a whole different thing. I mean, you are the character and you have to you have to make yourself believe that. And so actually if I'm on film, I mean, I feel one way now, but if I'm doing it, it's a whole other thing. So, I work with it. I'm going to have to work with it, right?
And you would be great.
Mm-hmm.
You would be great.
And I guess I'm also curious with you, Karima. How do you feel about that process? You've done a little bit of stage theater and lots of reenactments, because that's experimental theater in my opinion, because we can pop up anywhere and do these reenactments, you know what I'm saying? And we've done it several times. But what do you feel about the process if you were to consider going into film, interviewing and all that, all of the work. If you had get a chance, you might want to see the reels because it's a lot of different the way that it was put together. But how would you put yourself out there for a film?
I would probably do research on the part that I would be playing. Trying to embody who I would be portraying or who the character would be, similar to how we do our reenactments of the characters that we do. It takes you have to be empathetic and you have to try to understand who that character is and literally, in actuality, take yourself out of yourself and embody that person, which is kind of fun in a sense because you don't have to be yourself. You can be that person or that character.
Before you twerk for those dead-face notes, those flashy vehicles, remember my struggle. Pour out libations for me, the original vixen, Sartkey Sarah Bartman.
Another thing I think, you have to consider whoever the writer is, because while you're doing research, you'll get one vision, but they'll have something else. So that's something is very important to find out what they're looking for exactly.
Yeah, that's real important, and I appreciate you saying that because whenever I do a film, I always ask the director, tell me about this person. Tell me about her. And Dr. Henny's really good about sending me a whole profile on who he thinks this person is. And I appreciate that so much because it helps me. It's like, oh, she's like this and she's like that. Like the character I played in The Clot. I was in a wheelchair. And so I'm like, I don't get to move. And he's like, nope. And he said, you don't? I didn't have a whole lot of lines. He said, you won't. He said, but what you do say is going to be very profound.
Yes.
And it was. I watched The Clot.
Yeah, The Clot was interesting.
I was impressed.
Can we talk, Rita?
Yes, please.
Come in. Have a seat. I'd like to tell you a story, Rita. It's about a lady who needed something to help her survive the life she found herself in. When she got what would help her get it, she betrays the helper.
And so he said, now, Danette, I know how you speak. He said, I don't want you to speak like you. I was like, well, who am I going to speak like? And he was like, you're not Danette, you're Thelma. He said, and I want you to talk real low and real slow. And I was like, okay. So I had to work on that because, I'm used to my words just flowing, but I had to slow it down and think about it. And then because I'm in a wheelchair, I'm not moving, so I couldn't be very expressive. So everything had to be
Yes, that's important. That is so important.
Yeah, so that part was fun because I made a lot of faces in that movie. So I get what you're saying.
I love that. I love it.
Do you feel that you, with this a little bit of experience with the theater role, do you feel that you could possibly do both now? That you would be willing to put yourself out for stage plays?
Oh, that's
or
a good question.
Are you more geared towards film?
Yes.
We'll have to see after this one how comfortable I feel and if I do a good job, because if I don't do a good job, I'm not gonna do it again. So no, I won't, because I'll be like really nervous and just I'll lose my confidence.
Oh, that's kind of like riding a bike, though. I mean, you gotta learn. You're gonna fall sometimes. I'm gonna tell you from experience, our stage plays were hilarious because we had one actress who came on stage And she kind of leaned over me, and I'm like, that's not in the script. She was like, I forgot my lines. So we had to improvise because it's live, but I tell you, it was so much fun because we made it work.
Yeah.
And what you do, you don't stop because of that, because you never know how good you can be.
Yeah.
And this one here, she did some things which...
What I do?
She came on stage, and this character she was playing, guys, she had on some like 6-inch heels, and her feet was hurting. So before she said her line, she flops in the chair, kicks off these shoes, and slams them on the table. So we had to improvise with that. It was everything we could do not to just lose it. But when you're up there, you can't do that. Whatever happens, you got to make it work, and you got to make it look like I meant to do that.
Yeah.
You have to.
Right.
And you would do that. You don't start out a professional.
Right.
So.
Well, you know, the fact that I am actually trying this is a big step for me, because it is. I'm nervous. I ain't gonna lie, I'm nervous, but I'm gonna do it.
And it's also interesting because I didn't have to send you a list of what the characteristics are of your character because it's a historical figure. So with you were able to do some of your own research.
I did.
And found out even more information that I actually found out about the character, which is really great because I feel like, wow, that makes me feel good because she's doing the extra research, just like you. Doing the extra research, that makes me feel good as a director and as the writer to know that you put that much into your character. And that's a huge thing that a lot of directors are probably looking for, people that they can take direction, but they can also go over and beyond for the character so they can fit into that.
Just listen. Just listen to me. Just give me a chance to explain.
Well, it took so long.
Directors are different. Like me and Akosua, we have different styles. And like me, it's kind of like, I need you to stick to the feeling that I'm trying to get out there. And she's more free and easy. I mean, they're both, good ways, depending on who you are. And she's like, do it the way you would do it. I am a little bit of a control freak. Yes, anybody who knows me knows that. Yes. So when I have a character in my head, I want that character, period. And I think we should turn the tables on Miss Akosua. She's been asking all the questions.
I know.
So so how about we'll each ask you a question here. And what is your favorite thing to do? Do you like being on film or do you like playing behind the scenes? And of course, I already know the answers to this, but I want her to say it.
Well, see, I'm just because you said you knew what I was gonna say, I'm gonna throw in a little something extra, and I'm saying I love to dance. That's what I love to do. If I can dance around all the time, that's what I would do.
Choice.
But between film and directing a film, I want to be behind the scenes.
No. I said,
and for acting on the stage, I love the spotlight so much. I love being on stage. I love it, and I love the more intimate the crowd, the better for me. I love to be close to my audience because I feel like the audience is more of a participant. And when I'm doing something, I want them to feel me and feel the energy. And you can't get that on the screen. You can't. They're looking at you, and you don't have any idea who's looking at you. So that's my preference, is being on the stage, acting.
No, I meant between being in a movie or just working behind the scenes.
As far as a movie goes, I would rather be behind the scenes.
It's so good.
I would rather be behind the scenes. I'd rather be in charge of wardrobe or casting or directing. I really want my opportunity to direct because I feel like that's like a dream.
You'll get to co-direct.
But that's what I
now. Anybody have any questions for her?
So I want to know where your creative juices come from. Like when you think of doing a play per se, because I know you like to do those, where does your vision for your creativity come from?
It's always inspiration. I mean, it really just comes on me. I was literally Whiteout came from watching a podcast. I watched a podcast and they were talking about Black Rage. And she had a small little snippet where she talked about.
If you sit in a room and ask white folks, what does it mean to be white? As opposed to what does it mean to be human? They may come up with two separate things. That's right. They have forgone their own identity, cultural identity and otherwise, to be white.
And I was like, that would be a great play. Wow. And I wrote it right away. And my aunt will tell you that because I'm that kind of creative, sometimes I get distracted and I go over here. Like, what happened to that one play you was writing? What happened to that one movie you was shooting?
You have a lot in your head.
It's too much.
Yeah.
And it has to come out. It has to come out.
It does.
When you're artistic, she's right. It's got to come out. I mean, you really should stay focused and finish one before you start 12 more. But
Oh my goodness.
I guess as long as you finish at some point what you're doing, otherwise it's for nothing.
Yeah. You gotta finish what you started before you move on.
Yeah.
She's still learning that, but she's keep her on track.
Good.
Well, okay, my question is, we talked about everything that you love about directing and the plays. They are awesome. What is one of the things that you feel like is a drawback from plays versus film?
A drawback from plays versus film. So what I will say is, because I love plays so much, it's really hard for me to come up with anything negative. The only thing that I can say, and it's outside of any of my control, is I don't think that we have a culture that's more as into plays as I would like, especially the young people that I want to reach. That's why I went into film, because I want to reach them, and I can't imagine them sitting down and watching a play on their own. Somebody would actually have to bring them.
Right.
And the culture of the stage play is like, it seems like it's for a more classic audience, unless they're bringing their children somewhere. And you don't find as many. That's why I'm so glad about the children's theater, because now they're doing that. They're getting used to being in a setting like that. But thanks to that kind of influence, that might change in the next couple of generations, where we have the young people coming back.
We don't have a lot of stuff really that's geared toward them, so it's just it's no wonder.
Absolutely.
You know, if they're not exposed to it, how would they know if they're interested in it? So, you know, exactly like how you got into acting.
Yeah.
You wouldn't know.
Exactly.
And I always envision like an actress as a storyteller, and think about the old days when before TV, people would sit down and listen to people's stories, like and that's how I look at theater. You're a storyteller. The children are always a part of that. So I would like to see that. That's the only thing that I can think of that is a negative drawback from stage.
Okay. I've noticed that children are geared more to films and things like that. In the last few years, some of our students have done theater, from like they did Madagascar and things like that. So perhaps maybe within the months or years to come, War Theater could go back, not saying into time, but just go back and look at some characters from childhood, and probably can get some plays together for the youth, and possibly gear that to them so you can get more youth actors and things and actresses.
Yeah, I agree. And I think when me and D-Michele started SCTT, that was our aim. You know, when we came into Madisonville, and started
I
working with
do
youth
remember,
council.
yeah.
Yes.
That was our goal. Our goal was to get young people like involved and to promote them.
Yeah.
And it was so, you know, that's how I got to meet
Yes.
you and your children.
Yes, they had a ball.
Yes,
They had
and
a,
so
a
they
really
did
good
plays
time.
with us, and
Yes.
they did some of our events where we were doing the film.
Dinner
Yeah,
show.
the
And
dinner
dinner
shows.
shows and
Yes.
That's what I'd like to do. Like dinner
I
show.
love
That would
those
be
dinner
fun.
shows.
They were
Yes.
amazing. We loved them, and we had
Yes.
even though the youth did serve, sometimes they did perform as
Yes,
well.
They
yes.
did.
I remember the
And
Mother's
that's what
Day
Team
program.
Team Swayze. Team Swayze.
Freedom must speak for my brain. Gotta speak in my mind. I'm off of the boat, so everything changed. I'm thinking about past and I realize I'm looking at what I became. They thought I was playing, now this is my plan. Now that I'm free, now that we free. Freedom in vain. Yeah.
Yeah, so right here in Madisonville, that was the goal. We wanted to continue with that, and even before we kind of wrapped up on some of the things we're doing in Madisonville, the last thing we kind of did here was the Halloween.
That was so much fun.
And we were hoping that would be like a way to bring even more youth that weren't part of the council, but just more youth in the community.
And we did. We brought out, I mean, whole families just came, and everybody had a good time. And unfortunately, we didn't get the opportunity to do it again because Akosua moved at that point. So it just was not even the same.
It's all my fault. But you know, can we take this back to Danette real quick? I wanted to ask Danette this question because I find it intriguing when you just naturally come upon an actress that just got it, that just has it naturally, because you didn't have to sit down and have coaching and all of this stuff that people do, and people would know that if they watched the films, they would assume that you have like an acting coach and you're doing. Do you have an interest in pursuing some kind of courses or anything like that to already like help you what you already enhance what you're already doing? Would that be something that you're interested in and thought about it?
I actually did a course online with an African actor. He offered this course online at no cost, and it was like a 6 week. It was either 6 or 8 week course, and so I was given a Shakespeare monologue that I had to do. And I had to learn this whole monologue and talking in that way. And that was so hard for me, but I did it. Wow. And so he taught me stuff like that. So I did learn quite a bit from him. And then I took a few classes here in Cincinnati. I just couldn't keep that up because of the timing, because it was like in the evening and right after work and all the way out in Evendale. It was just too much. And so I just couldn't keep that up. But yeah, I'm definitely open for taking some classes. Absolutely. I would definitely do that.
And I'm so funny. It's so funny you say that. I'm almost the opposite, because I'm afraid that you could get so much training, you lose yourself, and then you're like everybody else. And that may not be true, but that's in my head.
I get what you're saying, and that's my thing too, because I want to be as natural as possible. So I don't know all the technical skills or the theory of acting. I don't know all of that. All I know is how I feel, and I have a lot of life lessons to pull from.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
I do.
I will say this, not to cut you off. I'm not going to cut you off. I will say this though. I totally agree with the losing yourself aspect of things. I have noticed that when you go to a play, you kind of see this kind of way that a theater person is, and you're like the personality that all of them have, and that's the reason why I don't think a lot of them even know that I do theater, because I don't have that theater personality. But I did take it in college. I did take theater classes in college, And what I loved was knowing the background of things, like learning props, learning how to make costumes and the lighting and sound and all the ins and outs of what goes around putting on a play. And it helped me feel like if I could do a play and I could do stage managing and all of that, I can easily do a film. And then you learn that film is complicated, because then now you got to worry about all this other stuff that people learn.
A whole new set of skills.
You know, it's like it's a world that just unfolds, and I'm like a sponge for that. I just want to keep learning, and I feel like, you know, I wanted to know if that's something that you also feel like, you know, this is something that you're passionate about.
Yeah.
And if there's access to learning more, you know, would that be something that you're interested in without losing yourself? That's the main thing, you know. You don't want to be like everybody else, like you said.
Yeah.
You want to stand out. I think you already have that standout quality.
Yes. Yeah, definitely do.
Yeah, you do.
She's got a poise.
Yes.
Everything.
Absolutely.
I don't know what to do with that. I don't know what to do with that. I don't. Just,
You
know,
keep it.
You keep it.
Yeah. I mean,
That's-
you know, some
yes.
things, you know, about yourselves, you can't change. It's like, this is you.
Exactly.
And so that's how I feel. And sometimes it's like, it's good, but then some people are like, they judge you based on what they see, as opposed to getting to know you, the person.
Yeah, yes, and I know
You know,
exactly what you mean about that.
And I, you know, and I come off like that sometimes, and it's funny, because at work, you know, this girl, she works for TikTok. And so she came up and she was like, so, Danette, what you doing now? I'm sitting at the desk. I'm getting ready to get her all signed in and everything. So what you doing now? And I said, I ain't doing nothing. She was like, yeah, you get ready to do something because you all bougie and stuff. And I'm like, girl, I'm just sitting here doing my job. Where you get that from? And so it was just interesting. So I kind of gave her a look like, how dare you? You know, it's like, you don't know me like that.
That's bullshit right there. How dare you?
Well, see, this is what I'm saying. That's the thing. Yeah, exactly. This is what I'm saying.
I did it. I did
You
it.
know,
My friends
so-
call me bougie.
Yeah, so it was like, girl, you only seen me twice.
You don't know me?
And you don't know me. Exactly. So, I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's like sometimes you can come across being a certain way and you think to yourself, I ain't like that for real. I'm just doing me.
Right.
You know, but people see you in a different way.
Yeah, they do. And the funny thing is, even though they see you in a different way, every single person in this world learns to put on masks. So we have different masks.
Yes.
You're different. You may speak different depending on where you are. And except for you, because she's always like this. She's always poised. But most people, I did.
Judgment.
You see that?
But no, it's a good thing. If it wasn't a good thing, I wouldn't say it.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
I get
definitely
it.
a good thing, but people are always going to be judging because that's what people do.
Yeah.
Even when they
That's
don't mean to, they don't know they're doing it, because there's been people who I've probably never had a word with, but it's something about them. You make me uncomfortable or something. It's something telling me. And so I go by that instead of getting to know you, which is probably not a good thing, but you know, we all.
Or it might be spirit, like protecting you from something.
It is. It is spiritual. If you haven't spoken with somebody, you don't know whether you like them or not. But if it's something telling me, I tend to listen. I've learned to listen.
Yeah, go with your gut.
But like I said, for those people who call you bougie or anything else, and if they mean it in a bad way, it doesn't matter, because that just means they never actually looked up the meaning.
Right.
The meaning of
Exactly.
bougie is you want something better for yourself. It's not putting anybody else down.
Right.
It's you have a certain way that you do things. So
A standard.
a standard. You have higher
Mr. Danette don't
standards
just
for
take any
yourself.
old thing, so don't be coming with no whack scripts.
And that's right. That's what we were.
Cause
That's
she
what
gonna
we were,
read it and
yeah.
she gonna be like, no, whack.
And that's what we were saying about first class tickets.
First
If you want
class
her.
only.
Right.
You hear me?
We just like picking with her.
I know, right?
I was like,
much
I
fun.
really like to say to our audience, I know that we are having some good bonding talking, but if there's any questions that you have for Miss Danette about her acting in indie films and this portrayal that she'll be portraying of Sarah Marant Fawcett.
Yes.
Fawcett. With this portrayal she'll have on the 31st of October, you can send your questions in to SCTT TV Podcast on YouTube, and we're also on Facebook.
Yes.
And I'll make sure that whatever questions you have, the answers, I'll put them out there for you all. But and also if you have questions for Karima playing the role of MC Fat Gede. It's French, y'all. Fat Gede.
Fat Gede.
And then if you have any questions for D-Michele, she'll be reenacting the role of Margaret Garner. She has done this role before, okay? Beautiful.
This is going to be entirely
different.
This is going to be an entirely different thing.
Ready for
can't
this.
wait to see it.
Oh, I'm excited.
I know, right?
And so, I killed my youngest. Lord help me, I slipped her throat and I watched her die. But before I could get to the others who were already injured, they rushed in and they grabbed me and I was arrested. And you may not think that's strange, but I was not arrested for murder. I was arrested for theft and destruction of property.
So it has been a great episode. We are going to wrap it up. Did anybody have any last words that they want to say before we close out?
I just want to say thank you for having me. Thank you, ladies. This has been fun.
Thank you for coming.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, both of you.
Yes.
Look, before you
It's
blow
always
up,
a pleasure.
we get to
Yes.
say we knew her.
Yes, and we'll have the proof.
Yes.
We'll have the
Y'all so
proof.
funny.
Yes.
So this has been another wonderful episode of SCTT TV. And as always,
Keep your soul conscious and your vision clear. Peace and love.